worked now at 2 companies where there's been kind of like a work from home option. So before I worked with RevGEN, I worked for a different company, and that was more like 80% work from home. And even though my demographic is millennial, and you may think that I really, really like working from home, I'm actually one of those people that finds that I focus way, way better when I'm actually in an office. I've got somewhere to go, somewhere to be. I would find in my past job that I would, be on the clock, but I'd be like, oh, I'm doing laundry or I'm cooking. So I think that there's definitely advantages to coming to an office. I think there's a balance though. I think maybe 1 or 2 days per week at home is a good way to kind of feel like you have that like freedom while also kind of keeping the focus of feeling like you actually have somewhere to go and somewhere to be. So I kind of go against the grain personally, I think, and that I like coming to the office like frequently. And I'm not a huge utilizer of like work from home. But that's just me.
I mean, all I see now is like article after article saying remote is the future. Everyone's going to be, working from home or working from, traveling and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, like, why do you think companies are moving in that direction?
I think it's partly just trendy. I think that there was probably at some point a company that did it and did it well, and then everybody else thought that was going to be the silver bullet for productivity, and I don't think that it is.
Well, I think there's also a lot of economical challenges today. When we signed our first office lease in 2006, we were paying $12 a square foot. When we signed our second one in 2012, we were averaging about $20 a square foot. And in 2018, when that one was up for renewal, they were wanting $24 to $27 a square foot. So some of it is cost driven. Yeah. How do you house and pay all the overhead for your workers coming into the office versus working from home? Some of it is as housing prices have been going up for the last 10 years, right? Daniel and I talk about it all the time. Mm-hmm. Where you live makes a huge difference, right? Yeah. And we're seeing that migration from California to Texas because of cost of living and cost of doing business. So I think kind of a hybrid solution, and I'm going to plug one of our newly opened businesses, VentureX Co-working.
This is a RevGEN podcast.
I think, maybe you have someone working kind of a hybrid remotely. You have maybe a flexible office in Chicago that they go into, and you've got a team of 4 that are working together there. But then they're coming to your main office once a month for a week to get kind of that feeling. And then they may have some work from home days built in. Yeah. But then maybe you want to talk about work from anywhere week that we offer.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's pros and cons to both sides. I think like what you hear out there is remote is the best, right? That's all I hear right now. So I kind of want to take a little bit of a devil's advocate here. Certainly, I think what remote does really well more than anything is probably cuts down commute time, right? I mean, what's the average commute? Like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's hour and a half, 2 hours of productivity, and also probably an hour and a half of 2 hours of time that people hate the most, right? I think that's probably one of the biggest advantages of remote. Probably the other thing is just like flexibility, right? People want to be able to, if they have to go to the doctor, right, they can kind of schedule around it. It doesn't become such a tight structure environment. And the third thing, I think the biggest reason why companies aren't just coming out and saying it is, to Raj's point, it's probably much more cost effective to hire people remotely, right? And especially in our industry, in hotel revenue management. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see most of the brands going remote, and I think they're trying to wrap their hands around like 5,000 hotels. Like, how can you possibly service 5,000 hotels when it's like one person per 10, 15 hotels?